rejection into discipline. It's not magic. It's not motivation. It's a decision. A decision to become so strong that nothing, not failure, not fear, not loneliness, can stop you. Let me tell you something personal. The day I bought my first luxury car, I didn't feel happiness. I felt validation. Not from others, for myself. Because that moment represented everything I fought for. It wasn't about the car, it was about what it symbolized. It meant every night I stayed up working instead of sleeping paid off. It meant all the times I walked alone while others laughed behind my back were worth it. It meant I was right, that my pain had purpose. And in that moment I realized the real reward wasn't the car, it was who I had become in the process. A man who couldn't be broken. A man who refused to kneel to circumstance. That's what you need to understand. The world isn't fair. No one's coming to hand you success, but that's good news because it means you don't need permission to rise. You can decide right now to do what it takes. You can choose to wake up earlier, train harder, learn faster. You can choose to be obsessed with progress. And yeah, you'll lose sleep, you'll lose friends, you'll get hated, mocked, ignored, but in the end, none of that will matter. Because when you're driving the life you built, when you look around and realize you're free, financially, mentally, physically, you understand it was all worth it. Every scar, every failure, every lonely night, they built you, they tested you, and you passed. I didn't make it here by accident. I earned it. I carved it from stone with bloody hands. And if you're willing to do the same, not just dream, not just talk, but actually suffer and work, then you can have it too. There's nothing special about me. Just discipline, just clarity, just obsession. And guess what? You can build those. You can train those. So stop crying. Stop waiting. Your story is already being written. The only question is, will it be one of regret or domination? You don't realize how close you are to dying average. That's the scariest part. You walk through life like there's time, like you can delay greatness, like the world's gonna pause and wait for you to figure things out. It won't. Life doesn't care if you're confused, tired, anxious, or broke. It keeps moving. And if you don't catch up, it will leave you in the dust, buried beneath your own excuses. One day you're gonna wake up and there won't be any more chances. Your youth will be gone, your options will vanish, and all you'll have left is a mountain of what ifs and an unshakable sense that you could have been something more. That's the death most men suffer, not in body, but in soul. Death by delay, death by comfort, death by playing it safe. Every single day you waste is one you'll never get back. That should terrify you because you're not stuck, you're choosing to stay behind. And deep down, you know it. You know you could work harder. You know you could discipline yourself. But instead, you lie to yourself, numbing the voice inside that's begging you to change. You drown it with distractions, with comfort, with fake dopamine. And in doing so, you betray your potential. That voice you silence, that's your future. That's the man you're supposed to become, but you keep killing him. One wasted hour at a time. You think there's no consequence for inaction, but there is. It's slow, it's silent, and it eats your spirit alive. Look around. Most people are spectators in their own lives, consuming instead of creating, reacting instead of building. They've accepted mediocrity as destiny. They celebrate weekends and dread Mondays because they built lives they secretly hate. Is that what you want? To exist instead of dominate, to follow instead of lead. Because here's the brutal truth. If you're not obsessed with evolving, there is no neutral. Time doesn't freeze. It either strengthens you or exposes your weakness. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Not because life becomes tougher, but because your habits get lazier, your standards drop lower, and your spirit becomes quieter. That's the real trap. You don't just stay in place, you slide backwards, thinking you're standing still. You want motivation? Here it is. Imagine being 60 years old, looking back at your life and realizing you settled. You never took the risks. You never pushed beyond fear. You never became the man you dreamed of being as a boy. You played small, kept your head down, did everything safe, and it got you nowhere. That version of you will hate you. He'll scream at the wasted years, the cowardice, the hesitation. He'll relive every missed opportunity in his mind like a looped nightmare. And the worst part, there will be no way to fix it. Time will have closed its doors. That should put chills down your spine, because that future's real. It's waiting for you, unless you do something now. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards proof. It doesn't care how smart you are, how creative you feel, or how much you could do. It only respects action, results, victory. That's the game, and right now you're either winning or watching. There is no in between. Every second you're not working toward domination, someone else is. And when you finally wake up, you'll realize they've built the empire you were too soft to fight for. That's why I never relax. That's why I treat every day like it's life or death. Because in a way it is. Every day you're weak, your future dies a little more. You want the truth? You're afraid. Not of failure, but of the responsibility success demands. You fear the weight, the discipline, the sacrifice. So instead you run, you scroll, you escape into fantasy. But let me tell you something, fear doesn't go away. It grows. It feeds on hesitation. And eventually it becomes your master. But if you face it, if you attack it with aggression, you kill it. Not all at once, but piece by piece. That's what courage is. It's not the absence of fear. It's moving forward while terrified. That's what makes you powerful. Not pretending you're fearless, but acting despite the fear. The real truth is this. You're running out of time. The version of you that could have been great is dying every second you sit in hesitation. Every excuse, every delay, every moment you spend scrolling instead of executing is a nail in the coffin of your potential. And if that doesn't light a fire in your chest, you're already lost. The man you're supposed to become is out there, waiting for you to step up, to stop being comfortable, to finally get ruthless about your mission. Because if you don't, no one will hand it to you. No one's going to rescue you from average. You must drag yourself out with blood in your teeth and obsession in your soul. There's no secret formula, no shortcut, no guru is coming to unlock your life for you. It's always been on you, your decisions, your habits, your intensity. You keep thinking you need more information, but what you really need is confrontation. A confrontation with the weak version of yourself, the one who's always tired, always doubting, always making excuses. That coward inside you must die. That version of you that's satisfied with maybe tomorrow, he has to be destroyed. Because he's the only thing standing between you and the life you want. I don't care where you came from, how hard your past was, or what people told you. I've seen men rise from nothing because they refused to quit. I've seen killers built from scratch because they decided to outwork everyone. They didn't wait for belief. They built belief through action. And if you're not doing that, you're just a spectator. You're just another soft voice in a loud world. And nobody remembers the soft. You need to stop negotiating with your mind. Stop asking yourself how you feel. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. If you only act when it's easy, you'll never win. You'll always be a slave to your emotions. A man controlled by comfort. You want power? Earn it. Earn it through pain. Earn it through silence. Earn it through a war against mediocrity every single day. Because no one cares how smart you are. No one cares how many dreams you have if you don't build. The only thing that matters is what you do when it's hard. That's the metric. That's what defines real men. Not how loud they talk, but how much they endure in silence. That's the war you're in. And if you don't rise to it, life will crush you into dust and move on without a second thought. And don't think for a second that you can fake it. You might fool your friends. You might fool your parents, but you can't fool the man in the mirror. He knows. He knows when you're lying to yourself. When you say you're trying, but deep down, you know you're giving 40%. That's the truth that burns. And until you face it, you'll never be free. You'll be a prisoner to your own deception. But if you face that darkness, if you look it dead in the eyes and say, I've had enough, everything changes. You stop being a victim. You stop needing external validation. You start becoming something dangerous, something focused, something unshakable. And when that shift happens, the world bends. It moves for you. Because it always makes space for the man who refuses to be denied. So here's what you do right now. You make a decision, not a wish, not a fantasy, a ruthless, deliberate decision to go all in, to stop compromising, to stop shrinking yourself, to stop apologizing for your ambition. If you want to win, it has to become who you are. You can't dabble in greatness. You have to become obsessed with it. You have to wake up with fire in your veins and fall asleep knowing you gave everything. You have to become the man who says no to weakness, no to laziness, no to the soft life, and not just once, every single day until it's not a choice anymore, it's just who you are. Because once that level of commitment takes over, you become unstoppable. You become the kind of man who doesn't chase, he attracts, who doesn't beg, he builds, who doesn't wait. This is it, your turning point, your line in the sand. No more talking, no more dreaming. It's time to turn rage into action, to weaponize your pain, to let every moment of doubt become the fuel that drives your rebirth. You want freedom, earn it. You want power, build it. You want to become a man of respect, of legacy, of absolute control, then move. Now, because this life doesn't wait for the hesitant. It rewards the man who charges forward, head first, with scars, with fury, with unstoppable conviction. That man, that's who you become, starting now. Most men will never know what they're capable of because they never even try. They die with their talents untouched, their strength untested, their voice unheard. That's the real loss, not failure, but unrealized greatness. And you're dangerously close to becoming one of them, unless you snap out of this coma and go all in. No more waiting, no more tomorrow, no more soft excuses. You either burn for your dream or get buried by your comfort. Because life isn't a joke, it's war. Every day you're in a battle against laziness, distraction, weakness. And if you don't fight back, you lose. And losers don't get sympathy, they get forgotten. So make a choice right now. Either you rise like a beast and claim the life you were meant for, or you stay soft and suffer in silence, watching others live the life you dreamed about. The problem with most of you is simple. You don't really want it. You say you do, you talk about success, you like motivational quotes, you daydream about cars and money and freedom, but when it's time to execute, you hesitate, you delay, you find comfort in distraction, and then you wonder why nothing in your life changes, because deep inside, you still haven't decided to become dangerous. You haven't drawn that line in the sand and said, enough, I will become unstoppable. And until that switch flips, you'll keep floating, aimless, reactive, soft. Life doesn't reward the almost motivated. It rewards the obsessed. The men who grind when nobody watches. The men who build while everyone else sleeps. The men who aren't just dreaming about it, they're dying for it. People love to say, you're lucky. No, I was strategic. I was relentless. I worked when everyone else was waiting. I didn't care how I felt. I didn't need motivation. I needed the result. And that's the mindset you need. The kind that doesn't beg for energy, but generates it. The kind that doesn't seek approval, but imposes dominance. You want greatness? You want freedom? Then understand this. Your current life is a reflection of the standards you've accepted. You tolerate laziness, you get mediocrity. You accept excuses, you earn regret. The world doesn't give you what you fantasize about. It gives you what you're willing to bleed for. And most of you haven't bled yet. You keep waiting for permission, waiting for someone to validate you, but nobody's coming. No one's going to hand you the perfect moment. The clock's ticking, and it's not waiting for you to build confidence. You think you need more time, but what you actually need is urgency. You need to realize that every second you waste is another second someone else is grinding. You're not in competition with your friends. You're in competition with the best men on the planet. The ones who train harder, think sharper, execute faster. They're not asking questions. They're taking action. That's why they win. That's why they dominate. Because they've decided that failure isn't an option, it's fuel. And don't confuse activity with progress. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're building. Most people spin in circles pretending they're working when they're just avoiding discomfort. Success requires intentional pain, controlled suffering, the kind that forges strength, that builds iron in your spine. I didn't get here because I was comfortable. I got here because I chased what made me uncomfortable. I trained when I was tired. I studied when I was bored. I moved forward even when I was doubted, mocked, hated. I became immune to the noise. That's the level of detachment you need, where your hunger silences the opinions of the weak, where your vision drowns out every distraction. I don't have time for self-pity, and neither do you. The world doesn't care about your sadness, doesn't care that you're tired, broke, confused, or alone. You think the universe is going to pause because you had a bad day? No, it will keep going. It will keep testing you. And if you don't fight back, it will bury you. But if you rise, if you choose to battle through the chaos, you become something rare, something feared, something respected, because men like that are extinct. We live in a generation of comfort addicts, soft minds, fragile emotions. You're surrounded by weakness, so if you decide to become strong, you stand out. Instantly, you become valuable, you become undeniable. And that's the first step toward power. Do you know how powerful you become when discipline becomes your identity? When you no longer have to convince yourself to work because it's just who you are? That's when things change. That's when your life bends in your direction. Success is never an accident. It's built by men who made war with their laziness. Men who didn't care if they were scared or uncertain. They just moved. And eventually that momentum became a weapon. That's what you need to build so much momentum, so much fire that nothing can stop you. Not failure, not betrayal, not fatigue, just pure forward motion until the universe is forced to make room for your success. This is your shot right here, right now. This isn't just another motivational moment. This is a mirror, a call, a challenge. You either accept it, rise to it, and change everything, or you let it pass and stay exactly where you are. Understand this. You were born with power, with intensity, with the capacity to become unbreakable. But that version of you isn't going to show up through luck or laziness. You must summon him, build him, mold him through discomfort, repetition, and sacrifice. Because that's how real men are made, through pressure, through fire. And once you walk through that fire, once you've conquered the weak version of yourself, you'll never fear anything again. You'll become the man who leads, the man who wins, the man who never backs down. At some point, the talking has to stop. You've read the quotes, watched the videos, listened to the podcasts. You've filled your head with enough ideas to conquer the world, but none of that means anything until you decide to act. Not later, not next week, right now. Because the brutal
Don't you want revenge on the people who didn't believe in you? Don't you want revenge on your enemies? Don't you want revenge on everybody who abandoned you? People who thought you were worth nothing and worthless? Don't you want them to finally feel the sting of regret? Don't you want them to come across your Instagram profile after a few short years, see the life you're living and the man you've become, and to hate themselves? Don't you want your exes begging? Nothing makes me happier than the girls I haven't seen in years popping up again begging for another shot. There's nothing more beautiful than them messaging you. Been a while. Fucking skank. Shut up. It certainly has. That's winning. And you can win one way. Success is the only possible route to revenge. And if you go through life without taking revenge on those who wronged you, you're a perpetual perma victim.
Yeah, and also it's legal, clean, happy revenge. I mean, people are vengeful people, and you hear all these stupid stories of idiots or murdering their old friends, or people beating people up who owe them money, or people, you know, attacking women who don't like them, people shutting up their school. This is a misdirected use of force. It is a misdirected use of force. The fucking losers, and that's what they are, losers who Andrew and I hate and do not condone. The losers who do things like shoot up their school. All right, now you're in prison for the rest of your life or dead. You misdirected your anger. Because let me tell you something. You didn't like the football players who picked on you. You didn't like the women who rejected you. I get that you hated school, but the clean, legal, happy way to live the rest of your life in joy and get revenge is to become successful. If the skinny guy who got picked on for being whatever he is in high school somehow became a banking executive with millions of dollars and big arms and a six-pack and a luxury fucking Maybach with a driver to drive him around in, 99% of those student athletes who made no money, all of those women who got fat and got ugly will be like, I went to school with that guy.
That's the revenge, gentlemen. If you're not out here becoming successful to get revenge on the people who didn't believe on you, you're a perma victim who is nothing but a prey for predators. Are you going to live 70 long years with nobody who ever wrongs you regretting that decision? You're going to be 70 years old, and everybody who ever treated you badly is going to be glad they did, because they're going to think of you as a fucking scumbag. They're going to think, I'm glad I don't talk to him anymore. I'm glad I left that guy. I'm glad I never believed in him. And they're going to be right. And you don't have motivation to go try, so they feel some regret. You want to just be the laughing stock of everybody who's ever interacted with you ever, and you lack motivation somehow? You don't have a six-pack, big arms, a bunch of money, a Lambo. You have none of those things, and all the people who ever said you were a fucking loser were right? That's how you're going to live your life as a man? It is go time. It always has been. It always will be. It's perpetual. It's never ending. Do you understand the difference? Do you understand there is a new level of life to unlock? Do you understand that everybody who has ever wronged you is currently laughing at you? If you don't feel like going to the gym and you don't feel like joining the real world, you don't feel like making money, let me say this to you. Everybody who ever wronged you is currently laughing at you because you are not more successful than them. They were right. Everybody is laughing at you. Behind your back, you're a man. Have some dignity. Have some honor. Stand up. Everyone is making fun of you. And the only possible revenge is success. It should be all you think about. It should be all you do. It doesn't matter who the president is. Nobody's coming. No one's gonna save you. You need to do it. Yourself. Just you. By yourself. Get up and do it. Otherwise, they're going to be right. You're gonna lose your youth. You're gonna lose your energy. You're gonna lose your chi. You're gonna become an old man. You're gonna sink into a chair. And you would have lived your entire life as a joke. And if that doesn't motivate you to try, if that will not motivate you to do something simple like press buttons on a keyboard to get a power level which will affect the money in your bank, then you are born to lose. The second best time to get started is now. You've missed a lot of chances, but there is still a chance left. And you can still save your bloodline. And you'll sit there and go, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then 16 minutes after this stream ends, you're gonna be back on Steam, downloading COD like a dipshit. As a man who's climbed the mountain from the very bottom, from the lowest echelons of poverty, most of you are starting higher than I ever started. And now I'm at the top of the mountain looking down going, do these people just deserve to stay on the cliff face waiting for an avalanche to annihilate them? Maybe all the poor people who go, I don't want to be poor, I've tried hard, are lying. And if you get to know these people, they're not even nice people. And they snake their friends, and they lie, and they cheat, because good people who work hard seem to always win. By logical extension, anyone who has not won is not a good person who works hard. If every good person with a good work ethic ends up a winner, and you're not a winner, then you're not a good person with a good work ethic. Somewhere along the line, there's something wrong with you. And you come to me to motivate you. How the can I motivate losers like that? What do you want me to say? I gave you a guaranteed win. I gave you a way to make the money. I came on here every day and told you to fucking work. I kept making the pot of gold closer and closer. No matter how close I dragged it, you just stood there like a dipshit. It doesn't matter how I preach. You losers are losers by design. No matter what situation I put you in, you'll find a way to lose. There is no other justification for your monumental impotence and lack of action besides the fact that your DNA enlaced with loserdom. You know what's so great about success, gentlemen, and I want you to keep this in mind. Success is the cure-all revenge to everything. You know that ex who really upset you, who broke your heart, and she has a new man now and she seems happy? She wouldn't be happy if you got a lot richer. If you got a bunch richer after you broke up in better shape and famous, if she saw you and goes, wow, he didn't have a six-pack and arms like that when I was with him. He didn't drive a car like that when I was with him. Look at him now. I really wish I didn't leave him and go with this other guy. I wish I stayed with him. Before you know it, she'd hate her current husband and want you back. Success is the best revenge. It's the best revenge on your school teachers who didn't believe in you. It's the best revenge on your boss who used to boss you around. It's the best revenge on all those women who don't fucking reply to you anymore. It's the revenge on everyone. It's the cure-all, the silver bullet. The only thing you have to focus on is winning. If you win everything. You don't have to play all these little games. You don't have to try and get your ex back or upset her or be petty or send her stupid messages. You need to fucking get rich. Then all of the work is done. I automatically win in every scenario because of how successful I am. If I break up with a woman, I win. I win because she will never get another me. We win. Success is the ultimate final victory in all things. You have to wake up and go, you know what? I'm responsible for my health, and I'm responsible for my finances, and I'm responsible for my family, and I'm responsible for the decisions I make, and I'm responsible for my work ethic, and I'm responsible for my motivation, and I'm gonna win. That's all you have to do to be monumentally wealthy.
Yeah.
And the reason it is so easy is because most people can't do that. If everyone could do that, then to win would be hard.
Listen to me now. Listen in your heart. Listen to me. Because in 2 years, when I play this video back, you're going to hate yourself for your lack of action. And you have been fairly warned. So in 2 years, when I ask you why you did not act, you have no excuse. You need to work. You need to dedicate yourself. You need to take these next few months seriously. 2025 has to be a year of winners. You need to reflect on your life. You need to analyze all of the mistakes you've made. You need to stop wasting your time and stop relying on me for temporary bursts of motivation so that you can focus on something for once in life. Now it's Darwinism. Those who do not benefit do not deserve to benefit. Act or fail.
The first time I had access visually to money, I knew I couldn't live as a second-class citizen any longer. I make all of this clear to people, and I say that money is a competency test. You simply need to want it. If you want it, you'll get it. You're not going to get anything in this life you don't want. If you want to get rich, I absolutely guarantee you will get rich. The entire world, your fingertips, and you're still not motivated, and you still don't care enough, and you're still not prepared to try something new.
Success and get rich. You either want or you don't. One else will fail.
You have to wake up. You have to give a shit.
You wasted your f***ing time. You could have been a somebody. Now your girlfriend says, let's go movies. I'm going to sit and think, wait, I was with a bitch in 2015. Now I'm not rich. Now this new bitch trying to make me go to a movie again. I'm still not rich. Need money. And say, no, I'm locked in. I'm getting rich. Stand by me and enjoy the labor or be gone.
I make millions and millions of dollars. People look at me and go, oh, but how? And I'm like, what do you mean how? Do the right things every day like you're supposed to, on time, every day.